Hey, it's Melissa from Kiwi Banana, and today I'm going to do my first ever food haul video for you while I'm in Jamaica. And the purpose of the video is to sort of show you some of the things you can get here, reasonably easy, and all of the stuff that I've brought here come to about, say about 4,000 Jamaican, roughly. I did buy a bit more than this, and so of course I've dropped the price down because of I'm just sort of showing you one of every little thing that I bought. This is obviously not what I buy every week or every few days. This is just sort of what I've got today, what I needed. And yeah, so I'm basically just going to show you what we have. If you're wanting to eat plant-based, or if you're vegan and you want to come to Jamaica, you want to do a lot of your own cooking, it can definitely be done. It's no problem. And or even if you just eat other foods, I guess, and you want to eat more cheaply, then you may want to look at more plant-based options while you're traveling in a place like Jamaica. It's not too bad. So I've got a mixture of things here: fruits and vegetables, some foods that sit closer to the whole food sort of category, and some foods that definitely I would consider as junk food. And I'm sure many of you would consider that too. But it's good to know that you can get some options. You just kind of have to look at the packets. Sometimes you can find like accidental vegan food, as I like to call it. So it isn't labeled as vegan, but there isn't anything on the ingredient list that says that it is contains an animal byproduct, whatever you like to call that. So of course, before I start, I should mention I am in the wet season, rainy season, whatever you like to call that, and that's in Jamaica. So it is late October, early November. This is the time period that I am in Jamaica, and this is like the first day of sort of November while I record this. So it will be limited in what you can get. We're in rural Jamaica, so there is a bit of a limitation. However, we can get a bit more variety because they do pass some through from Kingston, the capital, through to where we are. We got all this at a supermarket in Port Antonio, and we're living in an area not far from Boston Beach. Anyway, so that's the introduction. So, pineapple. It's a nice ripe pineapple. I can't get tree ripened pineapples back home, so it's a bit of a luxury. And also a lot of the fruits and vegetables here happen to be just sort of organic, or as they call it, sort of natural. It's not genetically modified, and a lot of the foods do tend to be organic just as a default. That's just the way I think they do a lot of their farming here. Although I'm sure there will be some farms out there that may not be organic. You'd have to do your research more around that if that's where you're wanting to head to. Now this is also a Soursop. So I'm wanting a ripe-ish sort of one that I could eat within the next couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. And this is it here. It's looking pretty good. Also got some capsicums. So we got the old red, orange. I don't know if it's a red or an orange. Doesn't really matter. Some green ones. And got a wee yellow one. Yellow one's a bit ripe. That's all right. We got some carrots. Now some of this unfortunately come in plastic. I try my best. I reuse a lot of these bags, and some of these bags that are actually on the table behind me are bags that I've gotten before, and then I just reuse them. Cucumbers and tomatoes. They do these lovely wee little ones. It's cheaper to get the little ones actually per pound than the bigger ones. And then the bananas. Now it's actually not banana season at the moment, but you probably can find some places where they grow bananas all year round. So it's unlikely that you'll find bananas in the area that we're in all year round. And I was really gutted that when I realised that when I come here, it's not mango season. But that's all right. I can go somewhere else, I'm sure, and get mangoes if I go to another country soon. Okay, so done the fruits and veggies. Also some raisins, some dried raisins. It's just a nice thing to put in some overnight oats. We've been doing a lot of overnight oats, just so that it's a cheap breakfast. It's not too bad. It's pretty good, doing some overnight oats. Also, so I've been doing a little bit of baking while I've been here, and just because I feel like it, I wouldn't recommend buying sugar as a health food. It's definitely not a health food. However, it's been really handy with some of the things that I've been making, and sometimes we offer our groundskeepers coffees and they might have sugars in them. Okay, now there's these other things that they make in Jamaica, and I think they're called spice buns. Most of them all say the word spice bun on them, and it's kind of like a loaf that you can get. So we got this nice big one. Been having a little bit of that as toast. I've been eating a bit of peanut butter, and my partner's been eating a bit of jam, a bit of strawberry jam, and they're quite tasty. It's really nice. Just a bit of spices, flour, sugar. They put like vegetable shortening in it, so it's, you know, it's not the healthiest, but it's a nice treat to have. Also, there's another thing, not so healthy, but we've managed to find some popcorn that is, you know, seems pretty safe. Oh, sorry. Gotta watch out. There's like these little ants here that like sting you when they bite you. Thought I nearly had one on my leg. Now, actually, I'll show you the patties first. I did manage to find some, you know, plant-based meats. You know, faux meats, fake meats, whether you like to use that word or not. And so these are some patties that that I can find, and also some, I guess, meatballs. And that's the reason why I got the buns. White flour, definitely not a health food, but it's nice to have as a treat. So we'll do put some patties in that. Sorry, it keeps going in and out of focus. Also with the baking, I've flour. It's pretty cheap here. You can also get whole wheat flour as well. The main thing that I've been baking while I've been here is breadfruit. You can get a lot of breadfruit where we are. There's breadfruit trees all around the property, and you can do a lot with breadfruit. Not just make sweet things, but also savoury things with it as well. And I was making a cake for one of the groundskeepers, and he asked if he could have some icing on it. So got the icing. Another food that I wouldn't consider very healthy, but if you're going to buy an oil, this would probably be one of the more safer options. Been using it for baking, and yeah, I've made a few pancakes with some of the stuff as well. So coconut oil is definitely, you can find a lot of varieties here. Soursop juice. Now this is not exactly 100% soursop. It's disappointing. I have been finding it quite hard to find juices which just the juice. I've been to a few other countries, quite easy. However, here not so much. Probably because it's not very much fruit season. Yeah, and maybe it's just not really a thing. So I do quite like this. However, it's not the healthiest. It's got some sugar in it, and it's also got some soursop puree. So I don't really know, you know, don't know how much that puree was soursop and how much of that was sugar. Soy milk. So that's a downside here. Plant milks, quite expensive, and this is the cheapest one I can find, which happens to be a soy milk, and it's pretty average tasting, if I'm honest. It does the job, just to add a little bit of creaminess to some of the dishes that I'm making, but I much prefer the one stuff at home. And to be honest, if I had a blender, I probably would just make oat milk out of the oats and then use the pulp for, you know, other meals. But, and then, well, now I think about it, also oat milk's not very thick. So, yeah, but I can always go with the coconut milk option. Now, this one does have some sort of preservatives in it, but you probably could even make your own coconut milk if you have the kitchen facilities to do so. So I've been using this in a lot of dishes to add a sort of creamy flavour to it, which is quite nice. Beans, it's much cheaper to buy the dried ones. However, it's the whole process of getting them cooked for, you know, can cook them for quite a long time. Even when you soak them for a number of hours, you still have to cook them for quite a while. And it can be a bit hot here, so sometimes I don't want to be in the kitchen for that many hours cooking beans. But yeah, it's much cheaper to actually get the dried ones than the tin ones. I'd recommend that. Just got some of the tin ones more for convenience at the moment. Now some jam. I've been getting a bit of jam for, you know, if you want a bit of toast, a bit of sweetener. Just because it's not that much fruit, even though it's there, but there's not a lot of sweet fruits that are available, with the exception of the bananas. But they're not local. Well, they're grown in Jamaica, but not within this area. And now this is kind of like a gingerbread, like an actual kind of like a big bread biscuit. I haven't tried these before. I think they're called bulla. Yeah. So these are ginger bullas, and I'm going to try these, see what it's like on a bit of, you know, maybe with a bit of peanut butter and jam or something, just as a treat. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth. Now these are not the healthiest either. They do have things like vegetable shortening and sugar in them, and of course flour. It's not the healthiest, but they, you know, it's a good way to sort of bring about a little bit of a treat. And then the last thing that I found really handy that I have been buying, but it has been kind of on the expensive side, I must say. And we got overcharged for one. We brought one of these today and we got charged for 3, but of course we got like 2 blocks down the road. Then we noticed on the docket, and then I was just like, oh, I think once you kind of left the shop, who's to say that you didn't just, you know, take some out and then go back in and demand for more. So we're definitely going to be a lot more diligent. It's just the way that they put things on the grocery scanner, you've got to be a little bit skeptical about. Anyway, so pasta sauce, it's been really good sauce to be able to like cook with, add some more flavour, because I found I couldn't really find any vegetable stock that I was like 100% sure that it was plant-based, because a lot of the stocks are chicken stock, veggie stock, fish stock, beef stock, goat stock. Yeah, they eat lots of different animals and parts of animals that most people that I know in the Western world don't usually consume. But that's maybe a topic for another day. And I've got some little chicken friends that have come to visit me. So yeah, I'm going to end this here, and I hope this was of some use to you. You definitely can, you know, prices can vary. You can, obviously, depending on region, it will depend on obviously what time of the year, and that can be to do with what's growing, and also maybe could be to do with, you know, when are the tourists coming, when are they not coming. But yeah, it was roughly about $40 for all of that, which is not too bad. You definitely, you know, you can be paying more for it. You could be paying less for it depending on where you are and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to end this here. Let me know if you want any more information about Jamaican grocery food.